And so Israel's going to have to make a decision.
Did you?
I know what I do, but I don't think it's appropriate that I say it. But Israel's going to have.
Dog, you literally said that you want to ethnically cleanse the strip. What do you mean? Oh, you should. Didn't say. You have said it. What more could Israel do that it hasn't done already?
Have to make a decision.
Just more of the thing that it's been doing.
President, when you were in the Middle East, you talked about the images coming out of Gaza and the starving kids. Those images are still going. Many of them are much worse. Thinner children, starving. What do you see or feel when you look at those images today?
Well, it's terrible. You know, when I see the children, and when I see, especially over the last couple of weeks, and people are stealing the food, they're stealing the money, they're stealing the money for the food. They're stealing weapons. They're stealing everything. It's a mess. That whole place is a mess. The Gaza Strip, was given many years ago so that they could have peace. That didn't work out too well. When Israel gave that up, whoever...
I missed the Epstein segments. This is unbearable. No, hold on. We're moving away from this already. I've covered it for the past 3 hours and 22 minutes now. Oh, here is a Daniel Beckner joke. Hello, I am a North American journalist and op-ed writer. For the last 18 months, my damn computer has been autocorrecting all my writing and posts to say that what's happening in Gaza is complicated but necessary. What I actually meant is that it's bad. Thank you. Talking about like all of the people that have been changing their trajectory or changing their commentary a little bit. First off, let's talk about major news. Trump's meeting with the EU chiefs have wrapped up. You saw some of the media stuff. Okay, you've seen some of the media hits coming out of it, but I don't know what this resolution is, but also there is a major trade deal with the EU. Trump is also still molesting the money. Let's take a look.
The biggest deal ever reached in any capacity, trade or beyond trade.
It is.
It's a giant deal with lots of countries because, as you know, Ursula represents a lot of countries, not one country. It's not easy for you. It's because a lot of very different countries, great countries, but some are strong with cars, some are strong with agriculture. Some are strong with both, right? You have a lot of different factors. So we're going to do the following. The European Union is going to agree to purchase from the United States $750 billion worth of energy. $750 billion worth of energy. They are going to agree to invest into the United States $600 billion more than they're investing already. So they're investing a large amount of money. You know what that amount of money is. It's very substantial, but they're going to invest an additional $600 billion. They're agreeing to open up their countries to trade at zero tariff. So that's a very big factor. Opening up their countries, all of the countries will be opened up to trade with the United States at zero tariff. And they're agreeing to purchase a vast amount of military equipment.
We're going to make them buy our guns, and we're going to make them buy our meat. We're going to make them buy our chlorinated chicken. That's right. Every town in Europe is going to eat our poultry and our chicken. They will drive our big, beautiful Ford F-150 pickup trucks. Believe it. Believe me, folks. We're going to force them to make their roads bigger so they're not gay. No more walking. Everyone knows it's woke and gay to walk on the streets. What are you walking towards? A dick appointment? No more. Frolicking about around town in your walkable infrastructure looking for men. What you need is the straight, not woke, American-made tanks that you need a commercial driver's license to drive.
Equipment, we don't know what that number is, but it's the good news is we make the best military equipment in the world, so sort of you have to do that. I mean, until somebody tops us, which is not going to happen. We're way ahead of
They're
every other
topping
country
us on the
in terms
roads
of
of
the quality
Europe.
of the military equipment. You saw that recently in Iran, and you see that, unfortunately, you see that often for all the wrong reasons, right? So those things are 750 billion, 600 billion, opening up the country. We are agreeing that the tariff straight across for automobiles and everything else will be a straight across tariff of 15%. So we have a tariff of 15%. We have the opening up of all of the European countries, which I think I could say were essentially closed. I mean, you weren't exactly taking our autos, you weren't exactly taking our agriculture, and then you would have smaller things, but for the most part, it was closed. And now it's open. It's open for our companies to go in and do a good job with it. I think you'll like them. I think you'll like it. And we will, very importantly, they'll be investing a lot of money, but the military is a big number, but that's one number we're not determining. It's going to be whatever it is, but they're going to be purchasing hundreds of billions of dollars worth of military equipment. They're very important. They're going to purchase $750 billion worth of energy. So that's going to be great. And $600 billion worth of investments into the United States over and above what they have. So, and I think that basically concludes the deal. I mean, those are the main factors. I don't think there are too many other factors, other than we're going to get along great. And we have a great relationship now with NATO, which is largely the same. I mean, not exactly, but pretty close, right? Largely. And with NATO, as you know, they're going up to 5% from 2%. And the relationship is very strong with NATO. So I just want to congratulate you. I think it's great that we made a deal today instead of playing games and maybe not making a deal at all. I think it's, I'm going to let you say, but I think it's the biggest deal ever made. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. We have a deal. We have a trade deal.
Yeah, what could we possibly do? Work with the fucking Chinese? I mean, come on now. Have you noticed that they're Chinese? There is no unit on this planet, no organized body on this planet more servile, more cuckolded than the European Union, okay? Like, we constantly talk about the Gulf nation states and how much they suck America's dick. There is, like, those guys look like brave anti-imperialist warriors in comparison to the European Union, okay? It is so insane to me. And wrong, it's called the United Kingdom? No, for sure. I just mean like the European continent in general, okay? It is incredible how cucked they are, that they would, and how cucked by racism they are too, because at a certain point, like, there is something immaterial about this, okay? By their assessment, their alternative is having better relations with China, and ultimately, they're Chinese, so we can't do that, is the assessment that they're making here. I swear to fucking God. There has to be a separate reason for why they are so servile to the interests of empire that is demanding more fealty, okay, from its vassals right now in broad daylight. It's crazy. The EU will buy $1 trillion in U.S. weapons. In exchange, the U.S. will impose 15% tariffs on imports from the EU. What a deal von der Leyen has negotiated. China, in the meantime, has been able to get everything it wants from Trump. The difference between having and not having a colonized mind. It is crazy, dude. It is fucking insane. EU and the US reached tariff agreement to avert trade war. Like, do the Europeans in the chat, do you guys see this stuff and does it not piss you off? I am of the Yanis Varoufakis mindset that, like, clearly, hold on. Doors open. I am of the Yanis Varoufakis mindset that, like, the DM25 mindset that, like, the EU could be technically a force for good in a collaborative effort against the United States. But it seems like the formative reason why it was designed is to behave like a organized body that is totally servile to U.S. interests in the interest of upholding capitalism. Okay? I don't understand how average, regular-ass Europeans that come from this, like, long tradition, that have national mythology that extends far beyond the United States of America, how they could just, like, sit around and be like, yeah, no, we're just fucking dogs. We're dogs. We need to give our masters more, my lord. We need to give our masters more, my lord. Is cuck porn. It is cuck porn. It doesn't make any fucking sense. China, U.S. to extend tariff pause as Sweden talks by another 90 days. Yeah, China got another extension on the tariff pause, by the way, because they're just like, yeah, no, we're not doing that. It's crazy. It's crazy. What I worried about has happened. A completely unequal deal, in air quotes, between the U.S. and the EU. Have no doubt, asymmetric 15% tariffs are an EU defeat. When the law of the jungle prevails, the weak have little choice than to accept their fate. But Europe could potentially have been strong, either alone or in a coalition with others. It would have had to be ready for stormy waters. But it would have gotten a better deal at the end and sent a strong message to the world, an opportunity lost. Yeah, I mean, this is after Rutte called Trump daddy, okay? But he's NATO. His job is to literally be an asset for America, right? His job is to manage the American protection racket. So when he's saying daddy, Ursula von der Leyen is basically also saying Trump is daddy here by allowing this deal to go through. Fantastic. Fantastic stuff. Can we agree that it's good? What? Good for who? Good for what? Like America? Not even. Whatever is good for the American capital owners doesn't translate to being good for you anyway, chatter. Like, does the peasant make more or yield more bounty when the king demands more from other other vassals? No. The vassals offer tribute to the king and a hand-selected few lords. You don't actually fucking receive any of those benefits. It's no different. It inspires me, my lord. Like, who do you think? There's a shit ton of neolibs in Europe. A lot of people are so scared of Russia that you can steal every penny from their pocket if you say it's for defense. Well, that too. There is definitely a lot of, USSR, remnants of USSR fears that Vladimir Putin and in his invasion of Ukraine have, like, completely fucking re-emboldened.
between the two largest economies in the world. And it's a big deal, it's a huge deal. It will bring stability, it will bring predictability. That's very important for our businesses on both sides of the Atlantic. It's 15% tariffs across the board, all inclusive. The investments Mr. President just described that going to go to the United States and the purchases over there. Indeed, basically the European market is open. It's 450 million people. So it's a good deal. It's a huge deal.
Yeah.
Was tough negotiations. I knew it at the beginning, and it was indeed very tough, but we came to good conclusions for both sides. So again, congratulations and many thanks.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Do you have any questions, please?
How did you come to a deal so quickly? Did the European Union come there and get...
I think we both wanted to make a deal. You said something that is very important. It's going to bring us closer together. I think this deal will bring us very close together, actually. It's a partnership in a sense, but it's a very good point, and it's something that's very important.
It's a great partnership. It's so good for us.
No, we had 4 or 5. No, not pharmaceuticals. I mean, we're going to be, as you know, a lot of companies are coming into the U.S., and that's unrelated to this deal. But it's, I think this didn't just start today. We had a meeting. I wasn't sure. I said 50-50. I think you probably felt the same thing. But this started months ago, this negotiation. So we knew pretty much what we were getting into, and we were able to make a deal that's very satisfactory to both sides. So it's a very powerful deal. It's a very big deal. It's the biggest of all the deals. It will be the biggest of all the deals. So we're very honored to have done so. And your staff has been fantastic, and they worked together long and hard.
They worked hard and long, and many thanks to the teams on both sides. There was, as I said at the beginning, a heavy lifting you had to do. But many thanks also for the talks we had many times on the way.
Your daddy, many thanks to you, Vater. Vater, you have done so well. We love paying fealty. We love being the vassal, Vater, we will work harder and harder for the Americanisch Ford F-150, Very nice. Wunderbar, as we say. Why are you showing cuck porn? That's just politics, baby.
To our goal. And now we made it. And that's good. That's really good.
Anybody else? Yes, ma'am.
Anybody else want the smoke?
President, what are the U.S. concessions? What is the U.S. giving up in the deal, if anything?
So the starting point was an imbalance, a surplus on our side and a deficit.
Yeah, we were really fucking over America. So the starting point was America was getting fucked over. FIFA really sticking it to the Americanish people. Yeah, so the starting point was already bad for the Americans. So they get nothing. They get everything, and we get nothing in return. Very good.
On the U.S. side. And we wanted to rebalance the trade relation. And we wanted to do it in a way that trade goes on between the two of us across the Atlantic, because the two biggest economies should have a good trade flow between us. And I think we hit exactly the point we wanted to find. Rebalance, but enable trade on both sides, which means good jobs on both sides of the Atlantic, means prosperity on both sides of the Atlantic, and that was important for us.
And again, the energy is a very important component, because we have more energy than anybody else in that sense. And I think it was very wise that they buy a lot of energy, and it's great stuff, and it solves a lot of problems. So that was a that was a great decision, I think.
What about steel? What are your views?
On what?
Steel.
Steel is staying the way it is. The steel and aluminum, et cetera, that's a worldwide thing. That stays the way it is.
We have.
Chips, did you discuss that as part of the agreement? Chips?
Chips is, Howard, you might want to describe the chips, please, if you would.
Well, the expectation is in 2 weeks' time, we're going to come out with our chips 232, and that was one of the key reasons that the European Union came to talk to the president to try to resolve all things at one time. And well, I'll let you wait for the 2 weeks until you get to announce your plan. But we are going to be bringing chip manufacturing back to the United States of America.
We'll be doing a lot of chips. A lot of companies are coming in from Taiwan and from other places into the U.S. And they're doing that in order to avoid tariffs. And the president really avoided the tariffs in a better way for them, much better way, much more conclusive. I think probably much more profitable, definitely much more profitable, and got a lot of benefit from it. So it was a very interesting negotiation. It was. I think it's going to be great for both parties. I think your various countries are very happy about this.
Is there an industry in the U.S. that you see maybe having the first impact of getting into this market that was not accessible before, whether it's auto? What's the first call you made?
Yeah, I think cars. Cars basically were not invited. Were not. I don't know if the word is not allowed or just you just kept them out somehow, right? But cars will be. We have some cars that do terrific business and we do really well with the pickup truck.
He's not even like my joke is now official trade policy. Oh my God. I said this as a fucking joke months ago. Like, what are they supposed to do? Drive around Ford F-150 pickups in the European Union? Have you seen the fucking roads?
With the SUVs, we have some great things, and I think the people of Europe will have some diversification. I think that'll make them happy. So I think maybe cars would be the one that would go the biggest, and the second would be agriculture, the farmers. And we'll do it in very strict conjunction with the president and the European Union. And they're coming into our country with great vigor. And I think they're going to make a lot of money with this. I think everybody is. I think and again, it's going to bring a lot of unity and friendship. It's going to work out really well. Okay?
What's the next deal you're focused on now?
Say it.
What's the next deal you're focused on now?
That's an interesting question. This was the big one. This is the biggest of them all. We're looking at deals with 3 or 4 other countries. But for the most part, I can't get them to understand that it's the letter. We just sent that letter, and that letter is, very universal for most. I mean, you wouldn't be able to do this. You wouldn't have the time or the patience to be able to do a deal like this. Most of the others are going to be a certain tariff, and we're going to keep it as low as we can. They're generally smaller countries or countries we don't do much business with. But that they've already received, to a large extent, they've received a letter. They'll probably receive a letter of clarification or a confirmation type letter, which will go out sometime during this week, prior to August 1st. And the tariffs will start being paid by those countries prior to August, on August 1st and beyond. Okay?
Mr. President, was part of the rush to get this deal done to knock the Jeffrey Epstein story out?
Oh, you got to be kidding with that. No, had nothing to do with it. Only you would think that. That had nothing to do with it.
Which is good
businesses in this country, particularly small businesses, are closing at a record rate. And you'll see the Prime Minister tomorrow, Keir Starmer. What does he need to do to help British business in this country?
I think everybody's going to be happy with this. The Prime Minister of the UK, while he's not involved in this, will be very happy because, there's a certain unity that's been brought there too. We have a separate deal with them, but I think he's going to be very happy to know. Look, he's friendly with all of you. I think he's a very good man, and he's going to be very happy to see what we did. I think UK is going to be very, very happy. Thank you all very much. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Hey, it's Will Kane. Click here to subscribe.
Seemingly bad.
Bro.
Let's bring in ABC.
So insanely cooked. Seriously, can someone tell me the last time I saw a pickup truck that wasn't a Toyota Hilux or an American-made car of any sort in the UK or Europe? I remember seeing a handful in Switzerland of all places, but literally none anywhere else. Am I mistaken? Have they started buying them in the last decade? I don't think it's even a question of price. Try parking a Raptor in Paris or Milan. Yeah. Japan and EU don't buy American cars for the exact same reason. They don't fit in the streets and parking spaces. Ford sells close to 500K cars in the EU each year, but most of them are compact cars like the Focus and hatchbacks produced specifically for the EU market. When China is dominating the European car market, they're dominating by making a car that the Europeans want. When America wants to dominate the European car market, they do so by forcing their cars that are literally impossible to drive without additional fucking... Like, look at that car. It makes no sense. Someone in the chat literally said, why can't they make bigger roads? Amazing. Amazing.
ABC's Chief Washington correspondent Jonathan Karl will be hosting This Week later on this morning. John, good morning to you. Always great to have you. Let's start with the Epstein saga, overshadowing in part President Trump's trip overseas. Many of his own supporters continue to push for the release of more documents. So what's at stake for him as he tries to turn the page?
Yeah, look, it's the issue that just won't go away, Whit. I mean, look what happened this week in the House of Representatives. Speaker of the House, Johnson, literally sent members of Congress home for the summer to avoid a series of votes that Republicans were going to join Democrats in forcing on the Epstein saga. These are votes that the White House simply didn't want about releasing more of the documents. And then you had the extraordinary visit down to Florida by the Deputy Attorney General, Todd Blanche, meeting with Ghislaine Maxwell. This is Epstein's partner and former partner and co-conspirator. She's serving a 20-year sentence for sex trafficking, and she spent 2 days in closed-door meetings with the Deputy Attorney General. So even as President Trump wants to turn the page, says this is something nobody cares about, his own actions and the actions of some of his Republican allies have kept this story front and center, and it doesn't look like it's going away anytime soon.
And John, on that topic, you mentioned the DOJ holding those meetings with Ghislaine Maxwell. Any indication that President Trump is actually considering a pardon? Is that on the table?
Well, Whit, I mean, if you had just asked me that question, a week ago, I would have said no way. But President Trump has now been asked it a couple of times, a pardon or some kind of a clemency, commuting her sentence, and he hasn't ruled it out. It's an extraordinary thing. Now, look, senior advisors at the White House say there's been no real discussion of this. They don't anticipate anything like this